you'll be fine. Okay, so today we're going to start our new section, which is looking. What happened to this page? He like been traveling. He's like zooming off onto the left there. There we go. That's a bit better. Okay. This is so weird. He's on his own mission. So we're going to look at equations over the next 7 lessons. And so this first lesson today is just to sort of get our head around some of the work that we did last year with grade 8 equations, because I know we haven't done equations for quite some time. So let's have a look at this. I know that this question over here is very easy, and a lot of the first ones we're going to do today are really, really easy. But if we don't understand how to do the easy ones, we definitely won't understand how to do the hard ones. So let's have a look at this question. When we are trying to solve for x, yes, x is definitely 5. And we can all see that x is 5 because if this was 5, 5 plus 5 is going to be 10, right? So we'd be able to visually see what x is. But when we're trying to solve for x, basically what we're trying to do is we're wanting to isolate x. So we're wanting to have x alone on one side of the equal sign. We want it to be alone, okay? And in order to do that, we have to move things to the other side of the equal sign. And when we move things to the other side of the equal sign, whatever operation they had on the one side, when it moves over, it becomes an opposite operation. So if I have a plus, what would be the opposite operation of a plus sign? Mandy, what would be our opposite operation of a plus sign?
Minus.
Yes, that doesn't sound like a Mandy.
Well done, Mandy.
Sorry, I should have wrote Ntando.
There we go. Okay, that's fine though. Don't stress. While you're on the line though, can you help us with the rest of them? What would be then the opposite operation of a minus sign?
It would be plus.
Good. What would be the opposite operation of a times?
It would be divide.
And the opposite of a divide?
It would be times.
I'm going to keep you here. What would be the opposite of a square?
A square root.
Yes. Jeez,
well
you're on fire.
Mandy.
Nice job. Nice. Okay, cool. Thank you. I'm going to let you off the hook now. Okay, so basically, when we're looking at our opposite operations, whatever it is on the one side, when it moves on to the other, it's going to do the opposite thing. So if we're having a look at this question over here, at the moment we're plussing 5. So when that 5 moves over the equal sign, it becomes its opposite operation. So we're going to write it as x equals 10 minus 5. And does everyone know what these 3 little dots mean? Can someone tell me what these 3 little dots mean? When they're like in a little triangle? Nice job, guys. It means therefore. Okay, so those 3 dots mean therefore, and then we're going to say x is equal to 10 minus 5, which is 5. Now, we already know that x is 5, but we're going to write it like this. We're going to scaffold everything and make sure it sort of makes sense so that when we get into the tougher questions, we can follow that same thought. So anyone who doesn't know, those 3 little dots there mean therefore. Okay, and we always use them with the equation. The other thing we need to be careful not to do when we're dealing with equations is we're not allowed to have 2 equal signs. So I can't have an equal sign here and an equal sign there. This one is not allowed. So always be careful when you're dealing with equations that you only have 1 equal sign, and then right at the end you can use the therefore sign. Okay, cool. Popelo, how can I help?
Hi, ma'am.
Hi.
So like, if I put the equal sign before the x, will I get it wrong? Or
You won't get it wrong, but they will take off a mark for incorrect setting out.
oh, okay, thank you.
So it's an important thing to start breaking that habit now.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. Nkateko, how can I help?
Ma'am, is it compulsory to use the therefore triangle?
So it's not compulsory, but it's just nice. So sort of try and get into the habit of doing it. As soon as you're in the habit, it'll be very easy to do. But it sort of makes the end answer look more formal, and it will make whoever's marking your paper happy, and we want to keep our markers happy because then they're going to mark happily.
Okay.
All right, let's try another one. So let's look at this guy. Now, the situation here is we've got an x that's chilling on the other side of the equal sign, but that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter which side of the equal sign our x is. We can move it to wherever we want, okay? We're trying to isolate that guy, which means we want it to be alone. And if we're wanting it to be alone, we're wanting to move everything that's near it to the other side. So in this case, we're going to move that -2 over. Now, if it was -2, when it moves over, it's going to become +2. So we're going to write whatever was on the left-hand side, we're going to write that -1. And then when that 2 moves over, we're going to write +2 is equal to x. And that's a +2 because the 2 is the one that's moving over. Okay. And then we land up with -1 + 2, which is just going to give us 1. And that's equal to x. Okay, you're allowed to leave it in that format there, but some of your teachers will ask you to move the x to the other side and just flip it around because they prefer that. But this is completely fine unless your teacher has specified that they want that. Okay. Can you give me an indication of how we're feeling so far? 0 is terrible, 10 is, I definitely understand all of this. Great. Beautiful. Yeah, how can I help? Cool. All right. Now, what does this 2x mean? If I had to write that out sort of a long way, what does it mean when I have 2x? What does that mean? Tiana.
Ma'am, I feel like the 2x means that like it's multiplied by a number to get the 4.
Excellent, excellent. Okay, so 2x is saying 2 times x. Beautiful. Okay, so now we've spoken about opposite operations. So in this case, if I'm saying 2 times x and I'm trying to isolate x, I want x to be alone, what would be the opposite operation of this? What would I do to try and get my answer? Precious? Okay, I'm going to try and move down the list. Unati, can you tell me what to do?
Ma'am, you're gonna divide the 4 with the 2.
Good, good. Okay, so in order to get that 2 to be alone, I need to move it to the other side. And when I move it to the other side, I'm going to divide. Excellent. Thank you. So now I'm going to say, well, x is equal to 4 divided by 2, because the opposite of having times 2 would be divided by 2. And then we would say, therefore, x is equal to 2. Now, another thing for us to remember when we get to a question like this is, because this is something we're going to be doing a lot, especially as equations move on, is as soon as we have a coefficient, which is the number before a variable, so that dude over there, that's a coefficient. I've totally forgotten how to spell coefficient. There we go. Okay. As soon as we want to know what x is, we divide by the coefficient of x. So what we're doing is we're dividing by the coefficient of x. And that 2 cancel. And that's why I'm left with x is equal to 2. That's what we're doing. When we move things to the other equals, when we're jumping across the equal sign, we are actually doing it to both sides. It's just that it cancels what we don't want on the left-hand side. Okay. Yeah. Does anyone have any questions when we're getting into this divide situation and feeling a little bit lost? Or are we feeling okay?
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yeah.
May I please ask what happens if the number is not divisible by the coefficient?
Sure, that happens sometimes, and then you're just going to be left with a fraction. So let's say we had 3x is equal to 7. We're going to divide that by 3. We're going to divide that by 3. And so then x is just going to be equal to 7 over 3. So you'll just get a
Yes,
fraction
ma'am.
as an answer.
That was a good question.
Oh.
Yeah,
Well
it's a
done,
great
Wendy.
question. Okay, so that's all that happens. So if it doesn't divide in, we just end up with a fraction answer. Cool. Okay, now we're going to combine some of those things together. All right. This is what we are trying to isolate. We're trying to get that x to be alone. All right. What is the first thing that I'm going to want to do in this equation? Nkateko. Yeah, talk me through.
Ma'am, you are going to move the +3 to the back, which is going to be minus +5 to the back, which is going to be -5.
Okay, so I'm going to have negative 3x is equal to negative 5.
Yes.
And then where do I go to from there?
And then we are going to divide our terms by -3.
Good.
I'm doing good.
You're doing great.
And then the -3s will cancel out each other.
Good.
And then the only part I don't understand is when we get to look at these two, when they can't divide each other, there's a reminder.
Yeah, they can't divide each other. So the only thing that we have to do here is when I have a negative and I'm dividing it by another negative, what does it become?
A positive.
Yeah, so that's all we have to do. We just have to say it's positive 5 over 3. And then we leave it there. Okay, sure. Nice. Thank you for your help.
Well done, Kateko. That was great.
Yeah. Popelo, how can I help?
Oh no, ma'am, it's fine. I got the answer.
Okay, no problem. Precious? Precious, you need to push a button on your side to unmute. Okay. So this isn't quadratic equations, just I'm having a look at some of the things coming in the chat. This is just linear equations. We're only going to deal with quadratics. We're going to start them next week. Okay. Okay, now we are in a situation where we have x over 2 is equal to 4. If I wanted to write x over 2 in a different way, so if I wanted to write this in a different way, how could I write that in a different way? Nati, tell me, how can I write that in a different way?
Ma'am, you can say 2 times x or x times 2.
Oh, But what you've done is a very normal mistake. So I'm glad that you made it because I'm sure other people would have done it as well. So thank you.
You're not
So
alone, Nati. I'm with you.
Yeah, not alone at all. So we can't say x times 2 or x 2x. How can I write that x over 2 in a different way? Camila, how can I write that x over 2 in a different way?
Can you write the other divide sign?
Yes,
The one with the
okay, so
dots
how,
and
exactly. So how would I write that with a divide sign?
x divided by 2.
Yes, beautiful. Thank you. Great. Okay, so if we have, you don't have to write this step. I'm just showing you what that means. Okay, so if we have x over 2, what that means is x divided by 2. So then when I'm moving him onto the other side, remember we're doing the opposite operation. So then it's going to be 4 times 2. It just makes it easier to see what you're doing when you have a fraction as to why you're timesing by 2 on the other side. And so then we land up with x is equal to 8. And the nice thing with equations is you can always check that you're right. So if I was checking this, remember to always do it on the right hand side to make sure your teacher doesn't think it's your work. You can take your answer. So we said 8 divided by 2 and chuck it into your calculator and you'll get the answer 4. And if you don't get the same answer, then you know you've made a mistake. So with equations, you can always check, which is great. Okay, the hands that are up, just make sure that your hands are up for a question and not that you are wanting to answer. I'll give you a minute to drop them if you want to drop them, and then I'll come to questions. Tiana, how can I help?
Ma'am, like, do you get a mark for like putting it like that, or can't you just like do cross multiplication? Because what I did, I just put a 1 under the 4, and then I did cross multiplication, saying x times 1 and 2 times 4.
That's totally fine. Totally fine.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Inkateko?
Ma'am, I did the same thing that Tiana did,
Okay.
but no, we were taught. Yeah, I was taught that we should put the 1. We should put the 1 under
Under the
4.
4.
Yes, and then after that we do the
Lowest
thingy
common
where we
denominator.
yes.
Okay. So we are going to do that, but we're going to do it when our fractions get a little bit nastier.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
But we definitely will look into that though. Okay, cool, guys, nice. Okay, now we have joined a couple of things together. Can you all please do this question for me? I would like you to all do it by yourselves. When you are ready, you're welcome to put your answers in the chat for me. But yeah, let's see how this one goes. I'm just going to turn some lights on in my flat because it's getting a bit dark.
Guys, let's go. Let's do this. We can do this. Let's go, guys. It's a combination, guys.
I
Combination.
think you'll surprise yourselves though.
Is it my network that it's glitchy? I hope it is.
Oh, I don't have glitches my side, but if anyone else is experiencing glitches, then let us know.
No, I'm here to help, so let's talk.
All right, let's try go through this together. I know I have a couple of hands up. I'm just going to go through this one just because it's sort of the beginning of the lesson still. It's the first sort of bit more complicated one, but I promise I will let you guys do some a little bit later, okay? All right, what we're trying to isolate is that x over there. So the first thing we're wanting to do is we're wanting to say, well, the first thing that's in my way is I've got this 1, okay? So I'm wanting to move that 1 onto the other side. Whatever we do, when we move it onto the other side, the operation is the opposite. So right now it's +1. So when it moves over, it's going to become -1. Okay, so we're going to keep our 3x over 4, and we're going to move that 1 over, and it's going to become -1. So that's my first step. We're still trying to isolate this. Now you could do the next steps in different ways, depending on how you would like to do it. It's totally up to you. I'm going to write this, just for those of you who are still struggling, I'm going to write it a bit clearer. So what this means, what 3x over 4 means, is 3x divided by 4. That's what it means. Okay. So when that 4 moves over, and it has to also have the opposite operation, the divide sign becomes a times sign. So we're going to keep the 3x on the left-hand side. And when that 4 jumps over, instead of being divided by 4, it's going to be times by 4. So we're going to have 3x is equal to -1 times 4, which is -4. Okay. So that's our first step, which is just taking our 1 over. The second step is moving our 4. And then our last step here is we're trying to isolate this x. And so the thing that's currently in our way is that 3 And when we're left with just having a coefficient of x with x and then a number, we can just divide by the coefficient. So we're dividing by the coefficient of x. And we do that onto both sides. So that 3 is going to cancel with that 3. And I'm left with x is equal to -4 over 3. And I'm just going to keep it there. Okay. So if you were working on this on your side, I'd like you to give yourselves a mark for getting to that -1 over there. Give yourselves a mark for getting to the -4, and then give yourselves a mark for getting to your final answer. Mashudu, well done. Nice job. Those of you who are struggling, don't panic. It's our first day. Nice job, Jordan. And Nam, how can I help?
Ma'am, wouldn't you simplify it further by doing like an improper fraction?
So in high school, we love improper fractions. So we don't change them to mixed numbers, because if we had mixed numbers, then I'd have -1 and 1, 3. You only change to mixed numbers when you're dealing with a story sum or a word sum.
Oh, okay.
Okay, cool. And the reason we like improper fractions in high school is because when it gets to algebra, it makes life a little bit easier. Divaka, Yolanda, I think they're struggling with getting sound. If you can help out there.
Yeah, I just got back. My Wi-Fi is glitching.
Oh, shame. Oh, no. Okay.
I'll help them now. Thank you.
You know what we can do? Hold on, let's just go all the way up here. Bloop, 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 bloop. Let's see if they see this message. Oh, could before. Okay, well then that message will not help you. Okay. Oh, okay. So let me just have a look at your questions. Doesn't the sign of 4 change? Okay, so that's a really good question. That's a question that comes up a lot. Remember, the sign isn't changing. It's the opposite operation. So here it was a plus. So let me use a different color. Here it was a plus. So it becomes a minus. Here it was a divide, so it becomes a times. It's not that it would be divided by 4, so times by -4. It's that the operation is changing. So this +1 is becoming a -1 because that's its opposite operation, and this divide is becoming a times because that's its opposite operation. But the number doesn't become positive or negative. Hopefully that helps a little bit. But we'll do a bunch more of these today, so don't panic. Okay, I've got a little bit of a brain break for you coming up next. It's more of a mathematical one again. So let's see if anyone can get the answer. To anyone in the class who is brand new today, please don't panic if you're struggling with the brain break. It's just something silly and fun to get your mind here for a little bit, and then we jump back into whatever work we are doing. Okay. So I'm going to scroll down. So what I'm looking for is my question mark. And when you think you have an answer, put it in the chat for me. But you have to be able to explain your answer.
Oh yeah,
not
because
19.
This class is good at guesswork.
Very good at guesswork. It's definitely not 19. It's not 91. Well, is it 91? It's not 19. It's not 121. It's not 99.
Hey, this is a sneaky one. I read them like 2 + 5 doesn't equal to 12. I don't know to cry.
It is quite sneaky. Ah, Roma. I see a right answer in here. I think Roma was our first one. Roma, are you able to explain how you got it though? Jasmine Sapue, yes. So Roma was definitely our first one to get there. quadrillion. But a few people are getting the right answers now, which is great. Yeah, Jordan, 96 is right. Those of you who are getting 96, you're 100% correct.
I still want proof that they actually got this.
I know. I want to see how you got 96. So anyone who's getting 96, either just let us know. Jordan, how did you get 96?
Ma'am, I see 8 times 11 plus 8, and then it will give you 96.
Yes, beautiful. 8 times 11 is 88, plus 8 is 96. And how did you
Well
know to do that? Oh, Jordan's off mute again. Okay, so how did we know to do that? If we have a look at our patterns beginning, 2 times 5 gives us 10, and 10 plus 2 gives us 12. So 2 times 5 gives us 10, plus 2 gives us 12. 3 times 6 gives us 18, plus 3 gives us 21. So 8 times 11 is 88, plus 8 is 96.
Well done, my people. I'm proud of you.
Nice job, guys. Yeah, you had to add the first term to the answer. Popelo, your hand is up. Do you have a question for me?
Ma'am, I'm still confused here.
With this?
Yeah.
So all we're doing is you're taking the first number, so 2, and you're multiplying it by 5. So 2 times 5 will give you 10. And then you add this number again. So 10 plus 2 gives you 12.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Makes sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Yusuf, how can I help?
Good evening, ma'am. Sorry to bother you.
Never bother.
I wanted to ask, can you please go up like to the last question, the 3x over 4, because I didn't mark, I was not present.
Sure. There you go.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Let me just screenshot so I don't take up your time.
Thank you.
Screenshot
Thank you, ma'am.
time. Is that the, no, it's the grade 10 screenshot speed.
It's the grade 10s, yeah. Grade 10s are obsessed with screenshots. Okay. All right. So let's move into where we have x's on both sides of the equation. Okay, so now we've got x's on both sides of the equation. Now, when we have x's that are on both sides of the equation, we don't panic. All we have to think about is we want to have x's on one side, and then we want to have numbers on the other side. Okay, so wherever we have an x, we want to move it onto the same side, and where we have numbers, we want to group them. So if I'm looking at this equation over here, I've got 2x over there, and I've got x over there, and I want them to be on the same side. And I've got this 4 over here, and I've got this -1 over here, and I want them to be on the same side. Okay, I'm going to do this in steps. You can do this all in one go if you want to. I'm just going to show you what it would look like if we did it in steps. Okay, so I'm going to move that x onto the other side. So I've got 2x, and now that was a normal x. It was a plus x. So when it moves over, it's going to become minus x. And then I'm going to take this 4, and I want him to join my 1. So that's going to be equal to -1, and it was +4, so it's going to become -4. And so what we have on the left is 2x minus x, which is 1x, because they are like terms, and that's equal to -1 minus 4, which is equal to -5. And so 1x is equal to -5. So all we're trying to do is we're trying to get x's onto one side and numbers onto the other side. Okay, does anyone have any questions about this question before we move down for one for you to try? And Pumi, how can I help?
Ma'am, I wanted to ask, is it necessary for you to add the 1x?
No, you can just say x.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Sure. Natabo, how can I help?
Ma'am, will I lose marks if I don't write the middle part, like the middle part of the form?
This part over here is not necessary. I'm just doing it so that everyone can see what I'm doing.
Oh, okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Sure. Maddie.
Ma'am, is it like necessary to write like the line under the equation? Because sometimes I like get marked wrong for it if I like didn't put it under. Is it like?
Oh, this arrow.
Yes, ma'am. Like
Okay,
under
so
under the
the
answer.
arrow, when I was in high school, my high school math teacher always did an arrow underneath his answers. And so now it's just a habit that I have, but it's definitely not compulsory unless your teacher has got some definite reason to want you to do it. It's not compulsory.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. It's just a habit that I've taken that has stuck with me since high school.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Sure. Watobe again, hello.
Hi. Can I ask if I done my sum in a different method, but I still got the same answer, will it be?
Can you tell me what you did?
First instead of doing it right away, I first took the x and said minus x 2x minus 1x. Then I got 1x plus 4 and x, and minus 1. Then I wrote 1x plus 4 minus 1. Then I also wrote, then after that I wrote 1x equals minus 1 minus 4. Then I got my answer.
Totally fine. 100% fine.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Absolutely solid. Not a problem. Okay. Cool. Let's try one ourselves. Okay. Can you all please give that one a go for me? This one's nice and easy as well. Should get to a nice straight answer quickly. And then I'll make the next one a little bit trickier so that you have to use your brains. Nkateko.
Book. Also.
Sorry?
So, I'm saying they should remember to write it on their book so they can mark.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, Nkateko, talk us through.
Okay, so I'm going to start with my positive 3x minus, I'm going to move my 2x to the other side, which will become negative 2x.
Good.
And then, okay, equals to negative 1 plus 4. Yeah, I'm right, plus 4.
Nice. Where do I go to from
Then
there?
I am going to say equals. Okay, you are going to get the. Okay, I'm going to say 3x minus 2, which will give us 1.
Good. 1x.
X. And then negative 5.
Oh, not negative 5.
Oh, positive. Okay, I mixed that.
So now be careful here. So we have negative 1 and then we're plussing 4. So if we were on our number line, negative 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're here and we're plussing 4. We're going 1, 2, 3, 4, which means our answer is going to be 3.
3. Oh.
Yeah. Okay. But remember, guys, that's what we have our calculators for. That's your answer.
Ma'am, don't we remove 1?
Oh, you can, but you don't have
the 1.
to. You can keep it as 1x, but you can just make it x equals 3. Okay, nice job. How 3? Okay, so because what's happening on this side is we've got negative 1 plus 4. And so we're at negative 1 and then we're adding 4. So we're going up 1, 2, 3, 4, which would take us all the way to 3. But remember, your calculator is your friend, guys. Just chuck that into your calculator and you'll get the right answer. All right. Nice. Let's try another one. Let me make this one a bit juicier. I'm going to make it a little bit more juicy, guys. I feel like this is too easy for you now. I'm going to say plus plus 7x. Okay. That is the question I would like you to do. My x is looking gross. Okay. So we've got 2 and then in brackets x minus 4 is equal to 2 plus 7x. Can someone help me with what would be my first step here? What would be my first step? Lindy, what would be my first step? Suraj, you just got to unmute on your side.
Mute.
There we go.
Okay,
Hello.
can you hear me?
I can.
Hello. I feel like you should first distribute the 2 like
Yes.
2 times x and then 2 times -4.
Beautiful. That is a great place to start. We're first going to distribute that 2. So we're going to get 2x and then 2 times -4, which is going to give me -8. Beautiful start. Well done. Nice. Okay. Keep going, guys. Finish off this question. Tell me what my answer lands up being. Don't fall for any traps. There are lots of traps that you could fall for in this question. I'm going to make a big giant trap over here and we're going to see how many people fall for it. There are 2 big traps.
Teachers love that.
Yeah, that's our whole goal, is to get you to fall into the trap. Why did you? Guys, is my voice not clear for other people? Is it my mic?
No. Your voice is
okay.
clear. It's just his network problems and it's not on your side
Oh,
either.
okay. Okay.
Because when they complain about the network, I can hear you perfectly. And sometimes I can't, but yeah.
All right.
Network issues.
Okay, let's see who lands up falling for my trap. I'm really hoping someone falls for my trap. Okay, let's see. Let's start with Unati. Unati, are you going to fall for any of my traps? Let's see. What would be my next step here?
Ma'am, you would get the 2x with the 7x on the same side.
Okay, so am I moving my 7x to the left or am I moving my 2x to the right?
I'm moving the 7x to the left.
Okay, so I'm going to move that guy over here so that my
Ma'am,
x's are together.
So, ma'am, it's going to be 2x minus 7x.
Beautiful.
Equals to 2 plus 8.
Okay, so far you have not fallen for my trap, which is great. Okay, next line.
Ma'am, so 2x minus 7x is negative 5x.
Beautiful. You've also not fallen for my second trap. Okay, what's equal to?
10.
Beautiful.
And then you divide by negative 5 to get the x alone. So x equals to negative 2.
Yay! You didn't fall for any of my traps.
Well
Excellent.
done,
Nice work.
Oh.
Yay! Well done. Okay, so some of the traps that happen here is when we move the 8 over, sometimes we keep the sign incorrect and we land up making it negative 10. That's one of the traps. One of the other traps is if we moved our 2 onto the other side, sometimes it's generally a sign change. So you forget because there isn't a plus sign over there. Sometimes when he jumps over, you make it plus instead of minus. That's another place it often goes wrong. So often it's like Mandy's little skull over there. It's the signs. The signs are all of the traps in this type of question. It's all about the signs. Nice job to those of you who got it though. That's excellent. Nkateko, how can I help?
Ma'am, why didn't we leave it to 5x equals to 10? Negative 5x equals to 10.
We always want x to be alone. So we always want to know what just x is.
Oh, so to the other questions, it was 1x.
Which is the same as x, exactly.
Okay,
Because
thank
remember, just
you.
always keep in your mind 1x is the same as x. They mean the same. Okay. Clali, how can I help? Can you hear now? I see your hand is up. I don't know if that hand is up because you couldn't hear just now. Angela, how are you?
No, it's
Hello? Okay. Angela, I've lost you. Oh, it's just a mistake. Okay, don't panic. It's okay. Okay. I'm going to make this one a little bit trickier. And I'm going to, what am I going to do? I'm going to say minus. There we go. Okay. Try this one for me. Try it from the beginning till the end. Let's see if you fall for the traps. See how it goes.
Let's do this, guys. Let's do it.
I feel optimistic though, because you've done really well so far.
Sure.
And you're going to smash the quiz tonight.
Please stay. Yo, Unate, you're already done.
No, it's because she's so fast though. So fast.
Sure. Fire.
Nati, I'm going to give Kira a chance because I haven't heard from her today. Okay.
Good evening,
Kira,
ma'am.
what am I going to do?
So, ma'am, you're gonna times you're gonna times the x by -2 and the 1 by -2.
Okay, good. So what's that
You're gonna
next
give
line going to look like?
it's gonna be -2x -2 plus
Good.
1
Mm-hmm.
equals 3 minus 6x minus 4. Sorry.
Good, good. Okay. I'm just going to highlight the things that we want to be on the same side. And then I'm going to let you go from there.
And then I wrote it down as -2x plus 6x.
Okay, so for everyone, we're moving that 6x over. So we're going to have -2x plus 6x. Good.
Equals 2 minus 1 plus 3 minus 4.
So I'm going to write my 3 and my -4 first, but what you've said is beautiful. We're going to move that 1 over. So we're going to have -1 and we're going to move the 2 over and have +2. Good. Okay.
And then our answer is going to be 4x, not an answer, it's going to be 4x equals 0, and then we're going to divide 4x by 4 and 0 by 4, which x is going to be equal to 0.
Nice. Well done, Kira. Excellent work. Okay, let's try and chat through this, how this becomes 0, because that one sometimes is confusing when that happens. So if we have 3 minus 4, that's going to be -1. -1 minus another 1 is going to be -2, and -2 plus 2 gives us 0. And when we divide 0 by anything, we get the answer of 0. Very well done, Kira. Yusuf, how can I help?
Ma'am, this is incorrect. Ma'am, this is incorrect because you cannot get 0 if 0 divided by 4 is undefined.
Anything divided by 0 is undefined. So if I have like 4 divided by 0, that's undefined.
Oh, ma'am, so in the exam, if they give us 4 divided by 0, well, if we get up into the points where the fifth step says 4, so do we write 0 or do we write undefined?
So if it's 0 divided by 4, so if you know what the easiest thing is, take your calculator and in your calculator write 0 divided by 4 and you'll see the answer is 0. But if you wrote 4 divided by 0, so now put 4 divided by 0 in your calculator.
Yes, ma'am.
You'll see that it says maths error. And because maths error for us means undefined.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, so I like to think of it if the 0 is under the line, it's undefined. That's how I remember it. If the 0 is underlined, it's undefined. But if it's at the top of the line, then it's just 0. Okay.
It's a good one, Darius.
Okay. 0 can never be a denominator. Yeah, 0 can never be a denominator. Hi, how can I help? Oh, I think we might be having network situations here. Okay, I'm going to try and move on to the next one. Well, okay. Should I make this one harder? No. Okay, some people are finding this hard, so I will leave it at this.
I'm here to help, Angela. You can tell me where you're getting lost. Let's do this.
Oh no, those of you who are panicking, please don't stress. It's just try and work through it step by step. Have a look. One step at a time. So in this case, the first thing you're going to do, for those of you who are feeling completely lost, the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to distribute that 3. So we're going to multiply that 3 into that bracket. That's the first thing we're going to do.
Let's do this, guys. I love all of you like a number divided by 0. Can never be undefined.
Defined, love. Okay, I see we got some answers coming in. Let me talk you through this one. Okay, so first step, we're going to do this distribution. So we're going to have 3x and then 3 times -2, which is -6, plus 2 equals x plus 4. Then we have to think about what we want together. We want our x's to be together. Okay, if we're wanting our x's to be together, that means that we need to move this x onto that side. So I'm going to keep my 3x, that one's going to stay there. And then this x on the right, that's going to move over, I'm going to minus that x. Okay, now I'm going to have a look at my numbers. I've got this 4, I've got this -6, and I've got this 2. I want them all to be together on the right-hand side. So my 4 is not moving. He's going to stay as he is. The 2 is going to move across. So it was a +2. It's going to become a -2. The 6 was a -6. So it's going to become a +6. Then we say, well, what's 3x minus x? That's equal to 2x. Then we look at our numbers. We have 4 minus 2, which is 2. 2 plus 6, which is 8. Then our last step is we want to divide by the coefficient of x. And so we get our final answer of x is equal to 4. Okay. And guys, if you're still struggling with this, please don't panic. First of all, some of you may have not done this in class yet, and so it's the first time you're seeing it, and so it's scary and stressful. That's fine. And also, sometimes it takes a few lessons before it clicks, and then the light bulb goes off. So don't be hard on yourselves, and don't compare yourselves to the speed where other people are getting it, because you must work at the speed that you're comfortable at. That you can, yeah, don't compare yourself to others. Okay, the hands that are up, if they are up to answer. Oh, Angela, well done. Nice work. Sometimes it just takes time for the light bulb to happen, but it happens. If your hands are up because you wanted to answer, then just move them down for me. But if you wanted to ask a question, then keep them up and I'll move through. Okay. Nkateko, how can I help?
Ma'am, On the second row, is it fine if I said 3x minus x equals to 4 plus 6 minus 2?
Totally fine. Not a problem at all.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. Mandy?
Sorry, ma'am. Can I please ask, like, what happens if the coefficient is a fraction?
So then you would just divide by the fraction, but I'll show you what that looks like when we start dealing with fraction equations. And I think we're going to do that on Tuesday. Then I'll start show you that.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Sure. Yolanda, how can I help?
Hello, ma'am.
Hi.
Ma'am, I want to ask, how did you get the 2x?
So the 2x came because remember, if there isn't a number in front of the x, it means 1x. So that's saying 3x's minus 1x, which gives me the 2x.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Yeah, where is Alvarez? That's an excellent question, Jordan. We need to yell at Alvarez on Tuesday. Hi, my sweetheart. How can I help? Oh, sound issues again.
It's network. Everything's
No.
now just network.
Okay. Artile, let's try. Okay, guys, those of you getting a hang of it, I'm really happy, starting to get it now. That's awesome. Just in time for your quiz. Aren't you lucky? We're going to pick this up, though, on Tuesday next week, and we'll get going. And now I'm going to hand you over to you, Linda, but I hope you all have a lovely, lovely week. And just for those of you who didn't see this message right at the beginning, we are continuing our lessons during the holiday. We're going to be consolidating over some of the tricky sections that we've done. So the lessons are going to continue for the whole holiday, the same time, normal time. So we'll see you there. But I will put this again on